So, here we are. Third Sewerby park run since my comeback. And away we go. James Wilson immediately takes the lead. I'm actually going to turn the sound off because it's not going to be pleasant, especially with all my breathing and everything. So, there goes James, way ahead. Sort of adjusted my GoPro there. Phil going strong with his buggy. That kid is having the time of his life in there. Not many 3-year-olds can say they've ran a 20-minute park run around Sewerby. You know. Anyway, yeah. So I was in 6th, and then here comes this guy wearing his coat and his cap with multiple layers on. I'm assuming underneath. Don't really quite understand that because it's still pretty hot. At this point though is very, very windy, and immediately it's knocking me back. Yeah, get past Phil there in his buggy. There's this dude. Yeah, there's a dude in pink who didn't really last much longer either. There's a lot of guys who you'll see will have really strong starts, but they'll fade out really quickly. And you just have to chill. You know, you just have to be patient, and eventually, you will drop these guys. James immediately is already at least 20 seconds ahead. Something close to that, and I was never going to stand a chance. The moment I saw him wandering around, I was like, fuck. I knew it was game over there and then. Anyway, get past the blue guy. Don't know who he is. And yeah, was in a lonely third. In fact, no, Nick actually was a little bit behind. He came up wanting a piece of the action. You'll see that soon. There goes Nick. Yeah, and there's TCF Photography, Tom Finn with his camera, getting all those pictures. He takes some quality photos, he really does. So there's Nick, there's James, as you can see, way off into the distance, already about 30 seconds ahead. The gap growing with every few strides. So Nick came past. This is where Nick starts to get into his stride. And this is where I start to slow down a little bit. Yeah, always takes advantage of this because I always just slow down after the first mile. That's my weakest point. Yeah, as you can see, my hair getting in the way here. This is the most scenic route, the most beautiful part of Sewerby, along the cliff tops. At this point though, I'm not really aware of anything. I mean, you never really are, because you're only just focused on the job you have and the guy you have in front of you, really. You're not thinking about admiring the scenery. All I'm thinking about is finding a way past Nick. And yeah, at this point he's just too strong. He's having a good run. He pretty much stayed with me for that first mile, and as we turned around, got out of the wind, obviously things became a lot easier for the pair of us, and he sort of took advantage of that more than I did. And yeah, he's really trying to push on here. Trying to really wear me down. One of my weaknesses, really. If people build too big of a gap, but they're still sort of round about the same kind of pace as me. They sort of do the same kind of 5k times as I do, but they build a bit of a gap in that first mile. It really kind of wears me down a bit, because I think, oh, they're into the distance, I'm never going to catch these guys. But I'll always come back to them in like the final bit, in the final mile. And yeah, if I can just be patient, stay strong, more often than not, I will catch these guys up. Obviously with my issues, it means I get tired a lot more quicker than usual, and obviously everyone else can take advantage of that. Behind me, I was starting to drop everybody else. It was just basically going to be me and Nick for the whole of this run. There goes Nick, striding off into the distance, starting to eke out a bit of an advantage, but more or less the gap is sort of staying the same. As we come up now to the huts, you'll see a guy who's literally been in the same spot for the last 9 years, since the dawn of time, always giving us some encouragement, which is very, very nice of him. Very nice chap. Don't know his name, but he's always been there since the dawn of time. So ever since I started doing parkrun at 16, this guy has always been there. Same spot, same voice. So go on everybody, go on young man, whatever it is. Very nice guy. See him again next week. But yeah, Nick's really starting to pull out a bit of a gap here. You know, he's really starting to, you know, it's clear that he's a lot stronger than last week. Last week, I beat him by about 40 seconds. But he's having a much better time of it today. I knew Nick was a lot stronger than the run that he did last week. He did a 19:30 last week. I did an 18:48. But I know he's better than that. His personal best here is an 18:23. So obviously if he gets anywhere near that, then yeah, I'm gonna struggle to get anywhere near it. And yeah, so we've come onto the grass. I think that's James there. Yeah, James is still way ahead, coming back there. I mean, fuck. Nick is my sole focus right now. As we can see, there's that other guy. I think Nick has a bit of a moment around here, or whether he's just had it, I'm not sure. Probably missed it. And yeah, this is sort of the point where I start to edge closer to him. As you can see, there's Phil with his buggy, with that other guy in the blue coat. I'm sort of wary of these guys at this point. I know there isn't going to be, deep down, I know there isn't going to be much threat from these guys, seeing as they're behind me already. You know, I've spent pretty much 2 miles, the best part of 2 miles ahead of these guys, so surely they're not going to have a stronger last mile than me. So, you know, Nick's having a much better run this week. Looking a lot stronger. But as you'll see, I will start edge closer. But the gap is pretty much maintained at this point. Yeah, another marshal there. More spectators. And yeah, coming through the hall, the most iconic part of Sewerby. So we've come around the back now, through the archway. I'm really starting to edge my way closer to Nick now. Going past the little fountain, or we're coming up to it now. So at this point, I was really thinking he's going to lose it now. I'm going to get ahead of him. But still, I am really tired. Like, that wind took so much out of me. You don't realise it, obviously, because I've muted it. If I unmuted it, it wouldn't be particularly pleasant to listen to. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, coming right up to him now. I know it's inevitable that I'm going to get ahead of him deep down. I mean, I don't want to say I'm complacent, but I know at some point in this last mile I am going to get ahead of him. But it just depends how much of a fight he's going to put up. Yeah, right with him now. He's sort of still staying with me. He's not losing it completely just yet. Yeah, we go down this hill here, and now I'm going to try and make a move, I think. Getting alongside him. Yeah, I think, yeah, I was just alongside him. I wasn't ahead of him, I don't think. And then he starts to come back at me a bit. And I just think, what is going on here? Like, he has a massive surge all of a sudden. You know, Nick, I think at this point, has just thought, right, I'm sick and tired of this. Because this always used to happen. I always used to get past Nick in the last mile. He's just thought, right, I am going to give it everything. Thou shall not pass. You know, and I was getting frustrated. You know, I was getting bogged down. I thought, he's surging away here. Like, what the hell am I going to do? But unfortunately for Nick, I think he's just really upped it a bit too much. Had he sort of maintained his pace, he hadn't really tried to, because I could see that he was really trying to go for it, to just stay ahead of me for just a bit longer. But whilst that was you know, I applaud him for the effort. Maybe he should have just taken it a bit easier. I don't know really what else he could have done in that situation. I was always going to up it in the last mile anyway. So back in third, and just getting through the woods. Obviously, this is the hardest part of the whole course now. The woods. I mean, okay, you could say the wind was the hardest bit, but underfoot here, it's really tough. You really are not going particularly quickly at all. Yeah, real lovely part of the course here, no matter how difficult it is. It's one of the most scenic routes that Sewerby has to offer. And yeah, at this point, I'm sort of wondering where Nick is. Have I dropped him? Because I was really feeling it at this point, like really feeling it. No matter the fact that I passed him, I was really struggling as well. And yeah, I have a little cheeky look round there, see where he is. He really wasn't that far away. So I was getting panicked a bit. coming up the killer stairs now. And this is where the wheels can fall off for anyone. You know, no matter how fast you've ran up to that point, you can absolutely lose it by going up those steps. But if anything, this is where I really get the hammer down and try and push as hard as I possibly can. Nick, I couldn't see him when I looked around just after I got up the stairs there. So yeah, just going through, 400 meters left, 0.2 miles, that's all I think about there. And that's really not a lot at all. 400 meters is not a long way. It's one lap of the track, you know, not a long way at all. So you just have to bear that in mind, and as long as you keep on thinking that mentally, you know, you will power through this last sector. And yeah, it's really trying to get a good sprint finish, as I always do when I get back onto the concrete. Have to watch out at this point here. I've actually fallen over a few times here, cut my leg open, and yeah, obviously he feels the need to tell me which way to go, even though I've done this 150 times, but I guess that's his job, so fair enough. And yeah, really trying to get the power down, really trying to go for it, get a strong finish. Nick is nowhere to be seen now. I've actually dropped him by quite a way now at this point. And yeah, coming right round at the front of the hall, a few meters left, the end is near, the light is at the end of the tunnel now. Yeah, a couple of people there clapping me, thank you very much for that. And there's Jason timekeeping, and across the line, and not too far away from the guy in second. I don't know who that guy was. And yeah, that is it. So yeah, 1936, first mile 6:24, second mile 6 minutes 16, and a last mile of 6 minutes 26. Not good, not good, terrible. Really disappointing. Obviously the wind took it out of me, ruined everything today. There really wasn't a whole lot I could have done. If there hadn't been any wind, I probably would have just got round about the same time that I got last week. Although, apart from Nick, there wasn't really anyone else to push me in those in that last 400 meters, which I really benefited from the week before. And I probably would have gone a little bit slower maybe had there been no wind today. But you know, having said that, you want to test yourself. You know, you want these tough conditions to come every now and again. You want to run in the heat of these high winds, whatever it may be. You know, yeah, because obviously it builds character as well. But you know, if you can still hit a decent time in testing conditions, then it really shows that you are turning a corner with your running. Obviously, my problem is still here. My back is so tight, loses me so much time, 90 seconds pretty much. And yeah, still nothing I can do. As I was saying, I was trying to do a lot of exercises, planks, bridges, Nordic curls, weights, squats, whatever it may be to sort out this lower back. Still no progress though, unfortunately. I said I was going to go see a physio in Leeds, but I've kind of ditched that. No matter what exercises I'm doing, I'm not making any progress, and I know if I go to a physio, they're just going to give me more exercises to do. And it's not to say exercises are, aren't a good thing to do. Of course they are, but unfortunately with my issue, I'm just not making any progress, and it's just very disappointing. And at the minute, I don't really need to pay money for somebody to tell me to do more exercises when I'm already doing these exercises that I already know how to do. James Wilson blitzes the field in an 18 minutes dead with wind, so had there been no wind, he'd have probably got a low 17. Who knows, maybe even under that. James is just on another planet at the minute to where I am. Obviously, had it been 5 years ago, I'd have been right with him, but this problem means that I'm nowhere, basically, and until I get it sorted, it's just going to be more pain, misery, and disappointment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.